Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, recently filed a final reply in an effort to bolster its position that it should be able to bypass the conclusion of the current court case and go straight to appeals. And I see that as a positive development. We'll get to that in a minute, but first I want to touch on the tensions that have persisted between XRP developers and Ripple. And if you recall, I did some videos, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, or so, where I said this was common, this was going to be an issue because, Ripple's funding. Some of these projects may be friends of executives of Ripple, and there isn't enough money going to developers, independent developers, and they build really important infrastructure. I predicted this splintering would occur, and now it seems to be taking shape. One camp accuses the other of putting too much strain on the network by advocating for hook when the latter is not yet ready, and vice versa. As an XRP investor, you need step back and ask yourself how all this will affect you. And I think what occurs is that you have these groups that are motivated to demonstrate that they are correct in their approach and have the most promising future outlook. They are encouraged to create, to write code, and to put in long hours. We're going to end up with a MAMS as a result. There will likely be some bickering on the main net before they finally implement this, but I have faith that they will. And we're going to get the side chain so we can use it in a live setting while rolling out hooks in parallel. And there will be more side chains, some of which will survive and some of which will not. However, the setting will be a construction site. I believe it will speed up the procedure and cause the established norms to be rolled back. More developers are using the XRP framework, though. And I think it will be a win for everyone. Apart from that, I don't see it as being very significant for our needs. Let's have a chat about this now. To what end am I wavering? So we go to the SEC, and they tell us we're out of luck and on to the appeals process. And initially, I was just like hell with you for dragging your feet and not getting the head start on appeals. When did we decide a resolution was necessary? We had to find a solution, after all. During the bull run when we were trying to get traction, the SEC dragged their feet to the limit, using time as a weapon to penalize Ripple and investors. Unfortunately, my first thought is that you could have worked faster. Now, you're in a tight spot, and you need to move quickly to file appeals before things become worse. That's something you need to have considered. That's what comes to mind initially. But let's check out what the SEC has to say. They argued that at least 2 district court rulings disagree with the outcome of this case. So there are alternative choices, such as the library, which was a terrible choice in my opinion. But this goes against everything we just said, right? They continue by saying that after analyzing the sales figures for products with identical features, they reached a drastically different conclusion. They continue by saying it's an uncommon case in which the defendants admit the concerns are of industry-wide significance and of special consequence. And so, we have an agreement. We take a peek at the current events in the world. As long as there is Coinbase, there are coins like Nance's and others that have been labeled unlawful securities, but this decision, which appears to be the correct one, says that, legally speaking, these are simply pure commodities trading freely on the open market. And in the end, it doesn't matter who is selling Ripple as far as you and I are concerned. Powerful, potent summary judgment, the SEC has no jurisdiction over those dealings. In my opinion, this is a landmark case with far-reaching implications. Since this case could potentially create a significant precedent, the judge may feel compelled to grant them an exceptional ruling. We're happy, and not just because we received what we wanted. Judge Torres has my highest praise. And as we know from hearing about her track record, she has never had a case reversed. Her argument made sense. Anybody could understand it. It made a lot of sense, even if you weren't a lawyer. I think Ripple has a good chance of winning, if not a slight edge. Some of those deals probably included the $740 million worth of XRP sales that were considered security offerings. Some of those, I believe, will be returned to them. Also, while we're in a stronger position at the conclusion of that process, since I anticipate the appeals court will certify that decision if they don't improve it further for Ripple. There are always potential consequences in this situation. You have no idea which judge will be assigned to you. You may randomly be assigned a judge from the SEC's personal courtroom library. There are dangers that you don't know about, yet we have to get there. Since we can't trust lawmakers and Congress to do their jobs, we should have the courts do them instead. Let's ask the courts how they'd regulate XRP transactions in light of the current legislative framework's shortcomings. I'm confident that we'll get the same or even better outcomes. I must now caution all the lawyers present, on whom we must ultimately rely. Right. It's as if they were experts on the subject. They argue it's highly unlikely the SEC doesn't have compelling reasons to skip right to appeals in this case. Naturally, I defer to their expertise, but the points they raised about Ripple wanting to drag things out so they can sell XRP sound plausible to me. Why is that a bad idea? There is the transaction, and Judge Torres says it's lawful. I don't see any solid basis to rush into an appeal based on their other reasons. However, the significance of this lawsuit may not only be felt by the SEC and Ripple, but by the entire cryptocurrency market. Even if my hope comes true and we get to watch this drama unfold once more, it will still take quite some time. Even while an appeal is pending, trading in XRP will continue. We have the upper hand right now. And if anyone is going to be first in line for appeals, I'd rather it be us than the library or anyone else, because my legal staff is top-notch. We've already had one triumph. Let's have that sham certified. In any case, I believe it serves us well as XRP investors, as we are on the winning side. And that's a terrific spot, so tell me what you think in the comments. Thank you, as usual, for your likes and subscriptions. See you later, bye.